Today I'm going to talk to you about all the stuff I put finishes on, specifically water-based poly. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about some experimenting that I've been doing with water-based poly. Now in my last video I talked about never using water-based before, and so I wanted to try that because it has a lot of advantages. Cleanup, no smell, it's you can get a number of coats on in one day because it dries really fast, which we'll find out is sort of a bad thing. So I really wanted to try this on these cabinets here. So the wipe-on poly works really good. I do like it, but if I'm going to use wipe-on, I'd rather use the oil-based, only because, as I mentioned a minute ago, the water-based dries really fast. Now, maybe during the winter here where I live might be good. Right now it's like 100-degree weather with very low humidity. So wipe-on water-based dries really, really fast. And so it doesn't give it a chance to get rid of some of the streaks that you put in with a cloth. And I found that out. And the nice thing about it was I was able to use this cloth, throw the cloth away, and not have to worry about combustion or fire or any toxic material. But I think during the winter I'd probably use this on a smaller project. I think for something this big, this was not my choice, or it didn't end up being my choice. Now I was really hopeful on this one right here. This one coat polyurethane, and I like this stuff because one coat is equal to 3 of these, or 3 of the oil-based wipe-on. And so I really was hoping this would be the one. Now when I first put it on and did my experiments, they come out smooth, but in the light I noticed that there are little tiny bubbles or bumps in it. And again, what that is that it's not smoothing out, it's not getting a chance to flow into the, or flatten I should say, level out on the wood. And the difference between this and this one is just simply the thickness. It seems like to me this is a lot thicker than this one, so this gives you a thicker coat when you put it on there. Now both of them are fairly acceptable. I mean, I think they look good. I don't know that I want them on my cabinets, because one of the reasons that I want to do a hand finish on my cabinets, that the cabinets that we have, we built this house and I made the cabinets when I had my cabinet shop. And you install the cabinets unfinished, and the painter comes in, he sprays a couple coats of lacquer on it, and that's it. That's pretty much how the finish happens. You get a lot of dust, you get a lot of stuff coming in there from inside the house, even no matter how well they clean it, because it's a construction site. So I wanted to get a nice, not perfect finish, but a really clean finish on. So this was starting to bug me. So I went online, like most of you do, and I checked out YouTube, and all these people talked about what you can do, with this stuff. And so one person said, well, thin it down. Well, if I'm going to thin it down, I'm also get this. So I went to the store and bought this and tried that, and it didn't work. So then I thinned it down some and tried that, and that worked a little better. It started to get, pretty nice. So then another person was talking about, don't use the cheap brush, which of course is the one I bought, was the cheap one, because, it was a synthetic brush. So I bought the cheap one because I always think synthetic brushes are cheap ones, but they aren't. There are more expensive synthetic brushes. So one guy said, get a better brush. So I went and I bought a couple expensive brushes and tried that out on a couple of these pieces, and it did a better job. It absolutely was probably twice as good as painting with this. But there were still little spots, because I noticed that the technique that you want to use on this is when you brush it on, is you want to brush from the middle and come out like this, and then come back this way. And you don't want to go back over something, because it dries so fast that you just leave streaks in it. And you can see little brush marks in all these. And that's, that wasn't working for me again. So, and then there are air bubbles that actually get caught in the bristles. Now, if you're using an oil-based one, you would soak this in mineral spirits, and that would get rid of the air in there, and that lay down a smoother finish. Plus, the oil takes longer to dry, so it has time to smooth out all of those little ridges and brush strokes. So it was pretty close, pretty close. So another one that I watched was a guy was using these pads here, and I just happened to have one of these pads because I got tired of going and buying stuff. So I used this pad on one of them, and that actually worked pretty decent. That was pretty close, but using pads on a flat surface is okay, but once you get into cabinets where you got, you know, all these little angles and I got roundovers here and stuff, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to do. So this was out. So finally, what I found out is that foam brushes work the best. And you know, you're gonna have people say, I don't use foam brushes. But I used the foam brush, and I found that if I just went nice and slow across there and did each one, like, you know, dip it, did like that and cleaned it up, and did it and cleaned it up, and then went one final smooth over. Now, once you do the one side and you start coming back here, you get this sort of halfway here, and then you come this way, and it works really good. And that is kind of, you know, I was really surprised that this works so well. The only problem again is that foam brushes, when you hit edges, it's real easy to drip it when you hit an edge. So if you came across an edge like this, you'd get a ton of paint over here, a ton of finish over here probably. And, you know, so it still wasn't as good as I wanted it. So what did I end up deciding to do? Well, I actually went back to wipe-on poly again. And this is the oil-based wipe-on poly. And fortunately, I needed some socks. So I went to, you know, Costco and bought me a ton of socks, new socks. And I took all my old socks, cut them in half, and make them little pads that I use for the wipe-on poly. And this works out exceptionally well. And these right here are actually, I just finished with the wipe-on poly. This I just finished with it. This cabinet, I don't know if you can see this cabinet. Yeah, I think you can. That cabinet is all done with the wipe-on poly. But the finish, I don't have to worry about the dust. You know, you still have the toxic fumes. I don't like the fumes, but it lays down nice. It gets, even when you put a nice thin coat on, it still has time to flatten out when it dries. So it still works good. I can still use these. These actually still work quite well. I found that this soaks it up more and gives a little smoother finish. So if you have some old socks, you know, wash them and then cut them up and then use them for this. It just works perfect. So I ended up back with what I knew and used before. Now, I did go with the Waco brand before I had the Minwax brand. The Minwax is about 10 bucks more a quart. This is, you know, when I'm going to use 8 or 9 or 10 quarts of this, that's a lot of, you know, 80, 90 bucks savings right there, just using this brand. And it works just as well as the Minwax oil base. Now, one other thing I want to talk about real quick about the wipe-on poly is I think it's a good product. I think for certain things it's good. I don't think it's good for me doing all of my cabinets. I think if I was doing a box or a smaller project, I think that this is perfect for it. If I was using wood that I wanted a rustic feel to and stuff, I would not hesitate to use this. This gives really good protection, builds up really fast, easy to work with. But in between coats, you do have to use a much more aggressive abrasive. On this one here, let's see, this pad, the green ones here, these are the final stripping, this is the moderate stripping, and this is the ultra fine. So they're basically coarse, finer, and then the finest. Now I found that when I used the poly, I had to use these two between coats. When I use when I use the water-based poly, I had to use these two between coats. When I use the oil base, I just strictly use this one right here between coats, which is the finer one. And this is called ultra fine. This is like mega ultra fine. This is the next one above it. And this one I use for the final coat. I just denib it basically with this one at the end. But because this stuff dries so fast, I think you need to be a little bit more aggressive in between coats. So you know, that's what I found out. I like to experiment with stuff and try it on stuff that I'm not going to see. These are all my shelves that go inside the cabinet, so I'm not so worried about that. But when I get the door fronts and all of that, I want that to be as smooth and as nice as I can make it. And I found that the oil-based wipe-on poly, at least for me, is my best choice. I don't have a spray booth. If I had a spray booth, I'd probably be talking a whole different story. But right now, this is the one that I'm going to go with. And I will do some videos showing you how I applied it to, I'm working on my pantry right over here. You can't see it, but it's huge. So I will show you how I applied the Danish oil and the wipe-on poly to that. The method that I use to cover large surfaces with a wipe-on Danish oil and polyurethane. So hopefully you like this video. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you around in the next one as I continue working on my cabinets and getting them ready to install. Thanks for sticking around this long. Take care.